Today we're going to go through what none, quarantine, and reject actually mean in your DMARC setup and why it matters which one you're on. If you've set up DMARC already or you've been looking into it, you've probably seen those three options sitting there and wondered what you're actually choosing between. They're not just settings, they're actually three different levels of protection, and most people sit on the wrong one for way too long. So let's go through them one by one. The first is P equals none, and this is called monitoring mode. When your DMARC is set to none, you're basically telling every inbox provider in the world, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, etc., keep delivering everything as normal, but send me a report about what you're seeing. So nothing gets blocked, nothing gets sent to spam, and emails go through regardless of whether they're passing or failing authentication. The reason you want to start here is that before you enforce anything, you need to know what's actually sending email using your domain, your mail platform, obviously, but also your CRM, your marketing tool, your help desk software, any automated notifications. If you flip straight to enforcement without knowing what you've got there, you risk blocking your own legitimate emails. So P equals none is the audit phase. It's not the destination or where you want to end up. And one thing worth knowing is that P equals none gives your domain zero actual protection. Anyone can keep sending emails pretending to be you while you're sitting in monitoring mode, and those emails will land in inboxes just fine. The reports will tell you it's happening, but nothing stops it. So the second is P equals quarantine, and this is where enforcement actually starts. When you move towards quarantine, you're telling those receiving servers to treat any email that fails DMARC as suspicious, and most of the time that means it goes to the spam folder instead of the inbox. The email still gets delivered, just not somewhere where someone is likely to act on it, like the inbox. Quarantine is the middle step. You've looked at your reports, you're confident your legitimate senders are all set up correctly, and you want to start applying some pressure without the risk of fully outright blocking something you missed. So if a legitimate email source is misconfigured and starts failing, it'll land in spam, which is still recoverable, and you can fix the issue and nothing's been permanently lost or rejected. Which brings us to the third setting, which is P equals reject, and this is called full enforcement. Reject tells receiving servers to block the emails outright. If it doesn't go to spam, it doesn't go anywhere, it's just rejected. And for anyone spoofing your domain, that's exactly what you want. For anything legitimate that you forgot to authenticate, however, that's going to be a problem. So you only want to move here once you're genuinely confident that everything sending email on your behalf is set up correctly and showing as passing in your reports. So reject is the goal, and it's the only policy that actually stops your domain being used for phishing, because quarantine still lets those emails land somewhere someone can open them. Now there's one more thing worth understanding here, and that's the PCT tag. So when you move from none to quarantine, you don't have to apply it to 100% of your emails immediately. You can write your DMARC record as P equals quarantine, PCT equals 25, which just means that only 25% of your failing emails get treated as suspicious. The rest go through normally, and it's a way of easing into enforcement and catching any problems before they affect your full mail flow. You ramp this up, so you start at 25, then 50, and then 100 as you get more confident. And the same logic applies from when you move from quarantine to reject. So the short version is that none means you're just watching, quarantine means you're starting to act, and reject means you're fully protected. Most people sit on none for months longer than they need to because they're not sure what to do when the data is coming back. And that's really what DMARC monitoring is for, turning those raw reports into something readable so you can see exactly when you're ready to move. I'll chuck a link in the description to set up free DMARC monitoring with Suped. And if you want to know how to actually set up DMARC on Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace if you're using one of those, there'll be some links in the description for those videos as well. So hopefully that was helpful and helps with understanding what, none, quarantine, and reject are. If they were, chuck us a like, subscribe to the channel, and just leave any comments in the video if you have any questions. And we'll see you in the next one.